My parents said, "You're not invited, your presence makes your brother uncomfortable." So I called the restaurant and said, "Cancel everything, the person paying just got uninvited." The text came in at 11:04 p.m., the night before Thanksgiving. I was brushing my teeth when the screen lit up on the counter. "Mom, Claire, don't come tomorrow. Evan doesn't feel comfortable. Let's keep the peace." That was it. "No, hi, honey. No, I'm sorry." Just 3 lines. I stood there for a while, toothbrush and hand foam in my mouth, staring at words that somehow weren't shocking but still managed to sting. I had made the reservation 3 weeks ago, picked the restaurant because it was halfway between us and close to my uncle's nursing home, paid the deposit, ordered the wine in advance so it would breathe just right when they arrived, and now I wasn't invited. Evan is my younger brother by 2 years. He's 36, a mechanic by title, but not by employment. My mother, Janice, has always said he just needed a softer path. My father, Robert, rarely comments. He hasn't, not really, since the year Dad nearly lost the house, and I stepped in with a check he never asked for. But that was years ago, and somehow, tonight, the house I helped save was hosting a family dinner. I wasn't welcome and I didn't reply to the message. I didn't call. I just walked into the kitchen, opened my laptop and pulled up the file I hadn't touched in 6 months. Family expenses. Do not share. .xlsx. It started as a way to track odd little things: gas money, when Dad's truck broke down, the copay for Mom's root canal, the car insurance payment Evan forgot 3 months in a row. But over time, it became something else, a kind of record, quiet, unasked for, but meticulous. The screen glowed in the dark kitchen, rows and rows of numbers stretching into years. 2009 mortgage hold, $5, 600-2012 Evans, DUI legal fees, $2, 800-2015 HVAC repair paid directly to the vendor. $3, 400-2017 tuition balance for Evan's second failed program. $4,100 birthday trips, groceries, emergency vet visit for the dog Evan adopted then dropped off at my apartment, and at the bottom a red cell I'd flagged, but never investigated. Second mortgage, unknown account activity flagged June. I didn't remember what triggered that flag. Maybe something Mom said in passing, maybe a paper I saw in Dad's garage. I had meant to follow up. I stared at that line longer than the others. If they had needed help, they could have asked. That was always the rule, or so, I thought. But lately, I'd been wondering whether help was just what they called it. When I gave something they didn't want to take responsibility. For the first time, I remember being called steady. I was 3.5 standing barefoot on the front porch of our old ranch house in southern Illinois. The screen door had slammed behind me again, and my dad turned from the driveway, a coil of garden hose in one hand. "Claire," he said, not angry, just tired. Doors close easy when nobody slams them inside. My baby brother, Evan, had started crying. He wasn't even 2 yet, all curls and soft cheeks and loud lungs. Mom scooped him up from his playmat and gave me that half smile she used when she wanted to correct and comfort at the same time. "You're the steady one." She told me, "That's a good thing." It stuck, the phrase, the tone, the way her hand gently patted Evan's back while she said it. I don't think I understood it then, not really, but I must have absorbed it, because from that day forward, I tried very hard not to slam anything. I was the one who remembered to bring the library books back. I never needed help packing my lunch or finding my shoes when the dog ran off. I was the one who stood in the backyard with a flashlight until she came home. Evan was allowed to be wild, emotional, full of energy. I was steady. I was the hinge that didn't squeak, the plate that never broke, the child who didn't need chasing. It was meant as praise, I know that now, but it also meant I learned early how to stay quiet so others could be loud, how to be dependable, invisible, and still somehow expected to hold the house together. And no one ever asked if being steady came at a cost. I was 21 when the market collapsed, just out of college, still sharing a 1-bedroom with 2 roommates working remote contracts that paid late and praised never. It wasn't much, but it was enough to start putting things away, small investments, slow and steady. Like everything else I did that fall, Mom's voice cracked over the phone. "It's not looking good." She said, "Your dad's worried, but he won't say it." I drove home that weekend. For hours in a borrowed car. Dad was outside fixing the porch railing with a wrench too small for the job. He didn't look up when I walked up the steps. "We're fine." He said they weren't. There were 3 missed payments on the house. A second mortgage floated to pay for Evan's trade school, which he'd already dropped out of. The letters were stacked in a drawer by the phone, under an old church bulletin and a pile of clipped coupons. I didn't ask permission. I just called the bank, gave them the routing info for my account and cleared the arrears. I didn't want to thank you. I just wanted to stop the quiet panic that had begun to settle over everything. Mom found out a week later. She called me, said, "You shouldn't have," then she added, "Coffee's on." That was it. I think I believed back then that being needed was the same as being wanted, that if I did enough, gave enough, held up the shaky corners, someone would eventually look up and see me standing there. But no one did. Not then, not when Evan wrecked a car in 2012, not when Mom's bridge work wiped out her dental coverage. I just kept giving, steady as always, and somehow, the more I gave, the easier it became for them not to notice what was missing. I woke up before sunrise on Thanksgiving morning, not out of habit, but because sleep had left sometime around 3 and didn't return. The kitchen light was still on from the night before, a list of side dishes sat on the counter half checked. I opened my laptop, logged into the restaurant's booking portal and canceled the reservation, 24 seats, 2 high chairs. Prepaid wine pairings. I paid the remaining balance anyway. I didn't want anyone saying I caused a scene over money. Then I opened a new email subject, since I won't be at dinner. Attachment, family expenses. Do not share. .xlsx. I didn't add commentary, no long explanation, no anger, just a brief note. Since I won't be joining you tonight, I thought you should have this. It's everything I've covered since 2008 for context. I'm closing the tab. That was it. I clicked send and closed the laptop. There was no satisfaction in it, just stillness, like finishing a long day's work in a house no one else stayed behind to clean. I made coffee, poured it into the mug Evan gave me 5 years ago that said world's best backup plan. He'd laughed when he gave it. So had Mom. I'd smiled too.